What's going on, everybody? Down South 77 here again, and this is 3 Star Draw, an adult collector channel where we usually talk about G.I. Joe and G.I. Joe Classified, but every now and then we'll do something a little bit different and flip the script and talk about something else that I pick up and want to show you guys. And that is something I'm going to do today because I'm doing something a little bit different. I don't think I've ever done this on this channel since I've had this channel. We're going to look at some 3 3/4 stuff. I just got back from Joe Fest, still decompressing and from all of that, and actually kind of sad that that had to end. Highly recommend going if you're able to. But I picked up some stuff at Joe Fest that I knew about, I was interested in. It just wasn't my scale. I don't really do 1/18th anymore, but since I've got into classified and like legions and some of the other stuff, but I do want to support other people in the community, especially when the stuff they're making is awesome. So we're going to take a look at some of these. That is issue 1 of Delta-17. They had a awesome booth at Joe Fest, and I've heard really good things about the toys that they are making. I've watched several reviews on them from other content creators way more knowledgeable than me, and whose reviews I tend to fall in line with their opinions and trust. And also got to meet the creators of the toy line, and they're all great guys, so I've been wanting to support them. It's just one of those things that I want to see them in person. Actually did that with another brand figure that I picked up at Joe Fest. I know how good everybody says they are, but I wanted to see them in person. So I'm just going to do a 3-shot review of the figures that I picked up and show them all off. So I picked up Shadow Dragon, the enemy leader. Look at that dude. I love the artwork on these things. I know the glare is kind of getting it there, but at the back of the package, I'll show that a little bit better when we get into the review. And I picked up Shepard, the Delta-17 leader. I love that dude. He's got that kind of ghost look from Call of Duty, the most overused character in Call of Duty, but he still looks awesome. So we'll take a look at these again whenever we get them open. I really don't want to mess up those cards. They're really nice cards. And I also picked up the Okami Red Sentry. This was the Joe Fest exclusive that they had there at the booth. Guy kind of looks like a cross between Deadpool and Snake Eyes. And how awesome is that? So I'm going to go ahead and open those guys up, and we're going to take a look at them because I don't have any modern 3 3/4 stuff. It's all been 6-inch scale stuff. So I'm excited to get these, and they're going to go on the shelf. And yeah, so let's go ahead and check these out. I'm really, really excited to look at these. All right, I did go ahead and open these guys up. There's been a little bit of an interval between my intro and my actual showing the figures. I've just had a whole lot going on. So I did go ahead and open them, mainly because I couldn't stand to look at them in the packaging anymore. I had to go ahead and get them out and play with them. So here are the bubbles. Each figure does come with a stand. I have not used the stands. And this is the Okami. He has a stand there, back of his package for the Elite Symmetry. So I did go ahead and get them out because I've been playing around with them and having little wars with them here on my desk. So let's go ahead and take a look at, we're going to look at Shepard first. He's the Delta-17 leader. I love this card art. It's fantastic. Just really beautiful card art. Harkens back to G.I. Joe. You've got kind of the fire and stuff in the background, but you get a lot more up and personal with the actual character, I feel like. And it's just really well done. Very, very pretty card. And this is how card backs. This is how card backs should be. This is how I would like to see the classified retro cards go. They already have the thick card stock. These things are like you're gonna have to work to bend it, and I'm not gonna do that work because I don't want to bend it. I was not as careful as I intended getting the bubbles off of these. I did much better with him than I did Shadow Dragon. Anyway, so look at the characters there. Does have, it's a cross cell, but it's not your normal cross cell. You got all of your Delta-17 characters on this side, and you have all of your bad guys over on this side. You have all of Shadow Dragon's followers over here. So have Shepard's file card. You actually get to learn about Shepard. Whereas that G.I. Joe, we need this much info on the characters. And it actually at the bottom has the toy features and what each character comes with, which we used to get on the side of our G.I. Joe bubbles back in the day. But it's just fantastic artwork. I love the cards on these. So I'll pause that. I'm not going to read Shepard's blurb there. If you want to pause it, go right ahead. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the figure. So I do have him all geared up. I have his stuff on him. He comes with his battle rifle. It's like an M4 style weapons. Got some nice sculpting on it for 3 3/4 weapons. Got a lot of detail. Does have can actually see the laser, probably a laser flashlight combo possibly on the side there. Of course, there's no blast effect port or anything. Double tape mags, not removable. Of course, man, if the mags on these things were removable, you'd probably never see them again. And he does come with this close quarters shotgun. I love this thing. Bullpup design, somewhat. I guess it's not really a bullpup. It's just a shorty compact. So this is a pump, not an auto. It looks like. Oh, he probably has the forward grip on the slide, so you just do that number. Like the sights up there, like those are going to come in real handy, sights on those. But these weapons do actually have sights on them. So put that aside and go ahead and take a look. His helmet is removable, and his night vision goggles do plug on to the helmet there. And you have to kind of get them in. They do fit in nicely, but you got to put a little oomph behind them, popping them in. Unlike on the classified figures, it don't matter how much oomph you put in, they're still coming out. But these guys actually stay in there pretty well. So you can't really swing them down. They're not on a swivel or anything like that. But it does have the red lenses there. So it might be night vision / infrared, who knows. But it's got some pretty good sculpting on the helmet there. See if my camera will focus in. Got a lot of detail on this helmet. And then he does have a backpack. He even has some paint apps on the backpack. The straps are painted gray. If I can get that to focus in. Backpack looks really good. And he does have, this is really the only thing that I've found that I don't like on the figure, is he does have storage for the shotgun, but it's very, very hard to get it to fit in there. They're slotted and they have their own slot, and it looks like it would go in with this part of the shotgun snapping in there, but it really doesn't. And the way that I've found that it fits on there is, I believe, like this, the handle. It took me a while fiddling around with it, but it will go in there and it will pop in there. But I have trouble with getting it in there, and these pegs don't feel like they're gonna snap, but how many times have we said that before? So it does store on there. I had it on there before, and he fell over because I was messing with him. So you actually can get it on there. You just got to be careful and kind of mess around with it. So Some really nice sculpt work on these, nice paint. They are nice and glossy, this shiny paint. His vest, his tack vest here with all his plates and stuff on it, it's really bulky. It is quite large, so you get about that much waist from him at the top of the waist and bottom of the torso. He's got a whole bunch of shotgun shells here, and this shotgun probably non-magazines, tube fed, probably holds 6 or 8 at a time, I would imagine. So looks back here, looks like that's glow sticks, possibly. Got a bunch of little pouches all over his belt. It's a nice OD green, although again it's not flat. All of it is shiny, but you can see it is toned down. It doesn't catch nearly as much light as the black does. He's got his headset. It's all sculpt. He's got his shades, which are, I'm sure, are tinted tack combat glasses or goggles. Like his scarf there. Just really nice sculpt work on this figure. As far as articulation, he's got pretty much everything that we remember from standard 3 3/4 articulation. Does have his knee pads there. They're quite prominent when you bend his ankles. And he doesn't get a lot of full sitting position. I know there's some of these earlier ones, they had issues with the T-bar, but I don't think he had it. I think it was mainly the female figures. Painted rivets up here. I would have liked to seen those rivets painted, but they painted the bottom side. They didn't do the top. But I mean, I'm not gonna fault that much. It just, they went through the trouble to paint the underside. I think they should have hit the top side with a little paint. But overall, it's a great figure. They do have the one thing these figures do have. They have wrist articulation. You can actually swap the hands out on them if you have a figure that has something to stick in there. And the other thing that I like about these guys is their hands actually flex. They're not hard plastic like the old Joes were. So you can actually get the weapons in there pretty well. I've had him holding it, and you can almost get him. You saw when I brought him up, you can almost get him into a good firing pose. It did take some work to get his hand on that foregrip, but he will do it. And I just kind of worked him around, worked his elbow around, kept his hand on the foregrip there. Doesn't exactly grip it, but it will rest on it. I did get the thumb around it at one point, but you can get him into a pretty decent firing pose there. So go ahead and put his stuff back on him. And it almost looks like the backpack goes with the rack on the other side, because it just seems like it fits better. But it is taller, and as you can see from the card art over here, that shotgun is pegged in on that right side. So that's really the only issue I had with this figure. Posability and everything. All the joints are good. This arm does seem a little loose at the shoulder. It's not awful, but this arm, it's not nearly as loose as the right arm is. But other than that, I don't really have any complaints with the figures. I wish they'd have painted that side of those rivets. And that arm is a little bit loose, and it takes a lot of work to get the shotgun in there, but it will go in. You can get it in there, and it will hold. It just took me a long time to get it just right, and I don't want to do it for the video. Okay, I lied. It was bugging me, so I did stop, and I did get it on there. So this is the way that I got the shotgun on there on the pegs. And it's on there. It is on there pretty tight. Like I said, he had fallen over and it popped off, but you can push on it there and it stays in place pretty well. And it's roughly the way that it's pictured on the package. So you can get it to work. So the next guy we're going to look at is the Sentry, the Okami. Again, he's the Elite Sentry. And this was the Joe Fest exclusive. This is one of the coolest figures that I have messed around with for a while. Definitely in this scale. Comes with so much stuff. He's got a lot of sculpt work on him. He's got a lot of hidden weapons on him. See there, he's got throwing knives everywhere on each of his thighs. He's got ninja stars. He has size here. These are obviously, they're not removable. I hope they're going to come out with this line in a 6-inch form at some point. Honestly, I think they are talking about it. Seems like I have heard some discussion about that, but this figure with all of this stuff removable in a 6-inch form will be something amazing if they do it. So he's got his little cybernetic piece there. These guys are robots, so these are kind of like they're kind of like akin to the Blue Ninjas in the G.I. Joe universe, especially if you read the IDW stuff. They are really, really similar to Blue Ninjas. So same articulation, same stuff, just nice, shiny. I like those shiny gauntlets there. That reminds me of the Hiss Driver with their boots and that extra gloss. This guy does come with 2 katanas. And you guys know me, I like to akimbo, I like to dual wield stuff. So let's put those there for a minute and just look at him. Like I said, he's looks like kind of a combination of Snake Eyes and Deadpool to me. Just a really, really cool looking figure. There's some really nice paintwork on this guy. The tips of his boots, the same shiny black there. I just really like the way this guy came out. He kind of looks, look at him. He's kind of got the red shadow, the wild weasel. You can see a little bit of everything in there. And of course, he does have the belt tied around. One of the coolest things about this guy, I like this also. He has this sculpted, if that'll show, almost like the classified Metalhead has. This piece here that looks like he's got sculpted in support, like cybernetic support and armor there for his back, give them some enhanced strength or something. So one of the coolest things about this figure that I like, let's stand him up, is one, you can store everything you're not using on the backpack. Gun goes in there, swords go through, pour it right down that way. They go in nice and straight. So he has this gun that will store right there, and I keep knocking it off. It fits on there relatively tightly, but it's kind of like this, I don't know, like a Tech 9. It's like a combination between an Ingram and a Tech 9 or something. Nice, huge vented barrel magazine. I just like the way this gun looks. It's a nice looking submachine gun. He holds it pretty nicely. Of course, the way these hands are sculpted, you're going to knock it loose. But just posing him, having him out, he will hold it. So I like that gun, but wait, there's more. As I mentioned, these guys' hands are removable. So you can actually put his gun on his arm and bow, gun hand. Look at that. What is that? Don't go gun handing anybody that don't need gun handed. So you can just pop that right in there, and the dude has a permanent, he's got a permanent machine gun, submachine gun for a hand. And then you can take the fists and also store his hands on the backpack. You hear me talking to you, Hasbro? I know you did it, but then you screwed it up. So, but wait, there's even more. So you can pop off his other hand, stick his other hand there, and he also has these two blades. He has hand blades. So now this dude is just a walking arsenal, and you got to figure he's probably got a self-destruct in there too. So, I mean, how cool is that? He can give us two removable hands, and yes, we have seen this with the bat, and that is the design in the classified scale. We got it with the original Joes with that bat, but to do it on something entirely different like this, and then to give him where he has blade hands, put those there, backpack stays on nice. So this is just a really well designed, really good looking figure. I'd like to have 5 or 6 of these guys. I don't know where I would put this scale right now, but it is a nice figure, really really cool figure. So we're gonna take a look at Shadow Dragon now. He is the leader of the enemy faction. He leads the Dark Shadows. Go ahead and pause that if you want to take a look at his file card. Same thing you get on the back of Shepherds. You get all the bad guys, you get all the good guys, and see how small they make all this nonsense right here? They have to have it on there, but you see how small they make this? They probably have this at the minimum font that you can probably legally have it. I don't know that. That's just a guess. But, I mean, look, 0 to 5 kids or possibly onions. If your onions are under 5, do not give them these, because these blades are actually, they're pointy. I'm not going to say they're sharp, but they are relatively pointy. And the other thing that I like that I didn't point out before, they actually have the sculptor on these. These are sculpted by Tommy Hodges. They actually have the sculptor on here, which is something I would like to see more toy lines do. If you are into toys big time and in the community and everything, you'll know who some of these sculptors are. I don't know who all of them are. I'm not that deep into it to keep up with that. I know who some of them are. So I like seeing the guys that actually sculpt these get their due. So this dude right here, what else? What can you say about this guy? He's very secretive. We don't know much about him yet, but he is definitely samurai inspired. He got the samurai thigh armor. He's got the samurai gauntlets, the shoulder pads, and then he's got all kind of like enhancements and stuff on his suit. Has another non-removable dagger here. I just really like the way this guy looks. He's got the back part of the samurai skirt. I'm sure there's a actual name for it, but I'm going to call it a samurai skirt. So same articulation. This guy's got no loose joints or anything. This is actually the best of the 3 as far as that goes. His elbow cut, swivel, a little bit loose there, but it's not really going to affect any posability or anything. So you can get it. I had this guy in all kind of really cool poses. Does come with a really good looking, another submachine gun. Looks like maybe like a Vector or something along those lines. Nice sculpt work on the weapon. It's got that rectangular suppressor on there. He does have a foregrip on this gun. I don't know if you'd be able to. Let's take his katana out. I haven't actually tried to get the other hand on there. Well, it will go too. Yep. I hadn't actually tried it. I wasn't sure, but yep, goes right on there. Holds that foregrip so he can get a nice rat-a-tat-tat with the stock there. So you can get him to hold that. Now up here, he does have storage for his katanas. They're right there on the back of his shoulder pads. They just slot in, go in like that. take those out because he does. This guy even comes with soft goods. He's got a little small cape with bendy wire in it. So that's how much thought they've got into this guy. So you can have him. So it weights the cape down, and it's got a little piece of bendy wire in it, so you can have it. You know what you can do with it. Have it like the wind's blowing him. Whatever you want to do, blowing his cape, probably not blowing him, but you know what I mean. We don't get wind like that here. Sorry, they've got to be pointed the same way for me. It's just a thing. So there's a quick look at the 3 that I picked up. I'm definitely going to get some more of these. I was just really trying to pick out ones that I hadn't seen people do reviews on and ones that I thought looked cool. So of course I'm going to start with the leaders, and of course I picked up the exclusive. He is a little more difficult to get him to stand than the other 2 are, but not hard. I mean, he requires a little more bending and posing than some of or at least these other 2. All right. Oh, we got him standing. So there's the 3 that I picked up. Look at the comic real quick. Hopefully that glare won't kill you too much. So this comic is fantastic. Artwork in it is great, and as of the time I'm filming this video, you can read this issue here, issue number 1, for free on the Delta-17 website. And you can actually read the digital version of this they made available. And I did have this, not hard to show up, but I did have this autographed when I was at Joe Fest. That's one thing you're not going to get with the digital version, but that's also one reason I wanted to make sure I picked it up. But you can order the comic on the website as well, and I think it's getting ready to go, or has gone, to distribution to retailers, I think was what they said. So this is very, very nice glossy cover, if you can see how thick that cardboard is. So that's just an idea of what the pages look like. There's the first page. I'm not going to flip through a whole lot of it. I'm not going to try to spoil anything, just so you can get an idea of the artwork and how the panels are laid out. And then on the back they actually have an ad for all of the toys, and this is the new thing they're working on that will be out next, I think they said next year early, I believe was what they said, with 1.5. This is a robot tank that is a part of the bad faction. So they actually had this thing at Joe Fest. You could pick it up and look at it. It was pretty neat. So there's a quick rundown on Delta-17. If you guys are collecting 3 3/4, 1/18 scale figures, I recommend picking them up and trying them. They are $25 a piece. They are a small independent line, but I think they're going to definitely get their foot in the door and gain a lot of popularity. They had a great booth at Joe Fest. They have a great team behind them. I got to meet all of those guys and hang out with some of them for a while, and I have talked to some of them since Joe Fest as well. So Delta-17, check them out, guys. I don't know what else to say till I can get some more of them in my hand. Here's my look at these 3. I do recommend picking some up, again, on the Delta-17 website. Guys, like this, hit that like for me. I'd appreciate it. Beef up that algorithm a little bit. And I will see y'all next time on 3-Star Draw.